Hi, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Now streaming studio. Hope everyone is having a nice Sunday. Hope everyone had a nice weekend. It was absolutely beautiful outside, temperature-wise at least, for both Saturday and for Sunday. Again, had to deal with some rain through this afternoon. That held down temperatures, which we'll talk about in just a second. But again, early August, we should be up around 90 degrees, certainly compared to what we had last weekend. I'm okay with the sort of the cloudy, the rainy, and the cooler temperatures that we had today. Moving forward, though, as we head into the new work week, those temperatures and unfortunately those dew points set to just start to climb as we head throughout the week. So we'll talk about that, talk about the chances for some thunderstorms in the forecast for us as well as we head over the next couple days. First, again, look at the rainfall totals. This is over the last 24 hours. Again, the official reporting stations at the airports across the state. And again, you can see they're kind of hit and miss, scattered kind of all over. Generally, fairly light amounts, again, with the rain that we had here in Lincoln. Officially at the airport, 1/100th of an inch made it into the bucket. Grand Island had a little bit more, 55/100ths. There was much heavier rain early this morning across far northeastern Nebraska, portions of Knox and Pierce County. 3 to 5 inches of rain, again, prompted some flash flood warnings early this morning. Still have a flood warning that's in place for portions of Pierce County till 10 o'clock tonight. Again, emergency manager reporting some flooding and water over the road and things like that. So again, some very heavy rain in those areas here in Lincoln and for much of southeastern Nebraska. Much lighter amounts. Again, 100th of an inch at the Lincoln Airport on the Tempest stations across town. Generally a 10th of an inch or less. Again, here at the studios, 5/100ths. Again, I had around a 10th of an inch at my house, about a 10th of an inch at my parents' house also on there. But again, a little bit of moisture there, but more so, again, served to bring us the cooler temperatures. These are your highs from the day today. 71 in Lincoln is the coolest high temperature that we've had since June 5th. So again, if you go by the start of the meteorological summer season, June 1st, today would be good for the second coolest temperature that we've had. Again, it was 70 on June 8th. It was 71 on June 5th. And now today, on August 3rd, also 71 degrees for a high temperature. It got warmer as you headed further to the west, right around 80 for the Tri-Cities, low 80s in North Platte. Ogallala had the state high temperature. They reached 91 degrees this afternoon. So again, it was certainly a cooler sort of than average day for us here in Lincoln. Again, our normal high temperature, 89 degrees. We were far below that, but we're going to start to get closer as we head through the upcoming work week. So look at that 7-day forecast. Next couple days, you can see just every day kind of a gradual step up. So tomorrow, 82 degrees for your high temperature in Lincoln. I think it's going to be a fairly cool start to the day, below average temperatures to start the day. So I think around 60 early tomorrow morning. But we will see a chance through the morning, through about midday for some showers, maybe some thunderstorms moving through parts of eastern and southeastern Nebraska. Again, we'll talk about that in just a second. But then cloud cover should kind of thin out as we head into the afternoon. Temperatures reaching the lower 80s. Conditions drying up for us then as we head into the afternoon. And then Tuesday, again, a few degrees warmer, mid-80s. Wednesday, fairly seasonal, into the upper 80s. It's Thursday and Friday that I think we see those temperatures really peak. 93 on Thursday, 94 on Friday. And again, small chances basically every day over the course of the next week for some showers and thunderstorms. I think a lot of these chances would likely be either late in the evening or into the overnight hours, kind of a typical pattern for us this time of year. As again, storms kind of start way out west and then kind of eventually kind of make their way here, but not until late in the day and into the overnight hours. It's then the upcoming weekend that an upper level trough begins to, looks like, potentially dig into the Pacific Northwest and then kind of swing through the area. That would push a cold front through the area. And I think this weekend, especially Saturday night into Sunday, would be the best chance to maybe see a little bit more widespread precipitation across the coverage area. Otherwise, again, I think these chances are going to be, it's going to be pretty isolated, pretty scattered, kind of like what we had today, where a lot of people saw some moisture. Again, some people saw a lot of moisture, but most areas it was, pretty hit and miss, generally a quarter inch or less, again, for most locations. Unfortunately, again, along with the temperatures continuing to climb as we head throughout the week, so too will your dew points. So again, it's going to be maybe just a touch on the sticky side, a little bit muggy at times, kind of like today over the next couple days, but it's not going to be too bad. But again, unfortunately, we kind of hit the middle and end of the week and even into the weekend. Those dew points kind of start climbing into the upper 60s and then even into the lower to middle 70s Again, I think 78 there on Thursday is probably a little high, but again, these are just some model numbers here. But again, we start to see those dew points begin to climb. So again, especially Thursday, Friday, when we see those temperatures peak into the mid-90s, when we factor that in with dew points potentially, well into the 60s and 70s, we could be seeing those feels-like temperatures, approach the triple digits, if not climb into the triple digits at times. So while it's certainly been nice the last couple days, dealing with some pretty pleasant conditions, at least as far as the temperatures are concerned. Again, I know we had some air quality issues over the last couple of days, and there's been some rain at times as well. Again, the more typical kind of August heat and humidity is back in the forecast as we head through the upcoming work week. So current satellite and radar picture, again, we had those scattered scattered showers move through eastern and southeastern Nebraska really slowly throughout most of this afternoon. That activity is kind of finally done with. We've seen late afternoon into early this evening some isolated to widely scattered thunderstorms pop up across parts of the Sandhills and up into north central Nebraska. We have a little piece of upper-level energy moving through the area that's giving us some lift, not a lot of lift, to help kind of spark off some of these showers and some of these thunderstorms. This activity is going to continue to very slowly kind of drift off to the east or southeast as we head through the rest of this evening. I don't think any of this stuff is really going to threaten anyone in the eastern half of the state or certainly into Lincoln or southeastern Nebraska. But there's going to be another little piece of upper-level energy that kind of slides our way as we head overnight tonight into tomorrow morning that I think would give us a better chance for some showers and thunderstorms. We'll talk about that in just a second. You zoom out and look at a regional view. Most of the severe activity tonight has been well down to our south across portions of southwest Kansas. That's where they have a severe thunderstorm watch. They've seen a number of severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings and things like that down there across portions of southwest Kansas. Otherwise, as a whole, much of the Midwest, fairly quiet this evening, just again some scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms. Not a whole lot necessarily going to be impacting our weather when it comes to our surface features as we head over the next several days. Again, area of high pressure that's helped keep our temperatures a little bit cooler than normal over the past day or so. It continues to slide off to the east as we head tonight into the day tomorrow. On the back end of that, that's going to give us some of that southerly and southeasterly wind, sending some warmer temperatures and, again, continuing to send some moisture our way with those higher dew points. Otherwise, we have a stationary boundary kind of set up across the high plains. That eventually kind of turns into a warm front as we head Monday into Tuesday, and that's eventually going to kind of slide across the state. Combine that with an upper-level ridge that's going to kind of build out of the desert southwest. Going to be those two things that combine to help send those temperatures, again, slowly climbing as we head through the week with those dew points slowly climbing for us as well. So, again, not a ton of surface features necessarily impacting our weather over the next couple days, but certainly some upper-level features, I think, certainly will. So if you check out SkyCast, we look at a statewide view and try and time things out a little bit. Again, it's doing okay with some of the scattered thunderstorm activity in western Nebraska. I think as we head through this evening, again, it's mainly across the western half of the state and then kind of fizzles as it moves to the east. But then as we head into tomorrow morning, that's when that second little piece of upper level energy kind of gets spit out of the Dakotas. It has slightly better lift, or we're thinking it will have slightly better lift to give us some of those showers and potentially some thunderstorms early tomorrow morning through the morning hours through about midday across the eastern quarter of the state. Again, it doesn't look like much on our in-house model here. If the in-house model verifies, again, we have a few showers with maybe a few hundredths, maybe a tenth of an inch of moisture through tomorrow morning with some cloud cover to kind of start the day, and then things kind of filter out. But we do want to be careful because several of our convective allowing models do have some thunderstorm activity across the eastern sections of the state through tomorrow morning. And this is the rapid refresh model, again, one of our other convective allowing models. It has a much more robust line of thunderstorms moving through. It is likely significantly overdone, but the reason I want to show it is because we kind of got burned because we had kind of a similar scenario earlier this week. If you remember, again, portions of Douglas and Sarpy County ended up having 2, 3, 4 inches of rain early in the morning earlier this week from just a little cluster of thunderstorms that kind of just pushed through the area during the early morning hours. And again, this is kind of a similar setup. But again, if this solution were to verify, it would potentially lead to, instead of a few hundredths, maybe a tenth of an inch or two of moisture, maybe some folks seeing an inch or 2 inches of moisture across extreme eastern and southeastern Nebraska through Monday morning and into the afternoon, but also likely significantly impact our potential temperatures tomorrow. That being said, again, I think that's probably a little overdone and a little aggressive. Again, if you look at again, all of the models. Again, precipitation potential over the next 36 hours. Again, our in-house model has some of that activity, maybe a quarter of an inch. North American model, European model have a little bit kind of here and there, but again, generally very light moisture. But that rapid refresh model has over an inch of moisture here in Lincoln. And again, a lot of that coming early tomorrow morning. Again, more than likely, I think our in-house model is the one that probably verifies. But again, with that setup we had just earlier this week where we did see this, certainly just want to let folks know there is that possibility, although I do think it is more of a remote possibility, but that possibility is there. So keep the umbrellas handy. I think would be the best thing to do as you head into tomorrow morning as you head out the door. As far as the severe weather outlook, again, there's a marginal risk out there tonight for central and western Nebraska. So again, a few of those isolated stronger storms can't be ruled out. Although now that we've kind of passed the peak heating and starting to see sunset here in the next 45 minutes, losing some of the heat of the day, that's probably going to temper that threat for any additional really strong thunderstorms for the day tomorrow. There is a marginal risk for severe weather, mainly across the western quarter of the state. So again, I think tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, there could be a few strong storms across parts of the Sandhills, southwestern Nebraska, into far eastern portions of Colorado. On Tuesday, that severe weather threat is mainly, I think, across the northern tier of the state. There is that marginal risk. So again, a few isolated severe storms kind of here and there, and kind of much like what we're going to see over the course of the next week. A lot of these chances for moisture, one day kind of depends on what happens the previous day and where kind of the leftover boundaries are and things like that. So it can be kind of difficult, and we kind of just got to take it a day at a time, especially when we look at these potentials for severe weather, because again, we could see some big changes in those severe weather outlooks. As far as temperatures are concerned, tonight should actually be a pretty comfortable night. Again, a little sticky out there, so I don't know if I'd open the windows, but overnight lows dropping down upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. These few degrees below normal for this time of year. So overall, I think a pretty comfortable night for us. And then high temperatures tomorrow. Again, a little bit warmer. Upper 70s, low 80s for the eastern half of the state. That was, still 10 to 15 degrees below normal for this time of year. But then climbing mid to upper 80s for parts of western Nebraska, and even into the lower 90s for the far west and southwestern sections of the state. So a little bit warmer, but not a bad day for us. But again, we'll be a little bit sticky out there at times as well. So one more look at that 7-day forecast. Again, you can see those temperatures kind of gradually climbing as we head through the week. Thursday, Friday, I think, are our hottest days. And then again, at least a small chance just about every day for, something to kind of pop up. Again, I think late at night, into the overnight, into the early morning, I think is going to be some of the better chances for those. 8 to 14-day long-range outlooks from the Climate Prediction Center. This takes us August 11th through August 17th. Favors above-average temperatures across the region. So again, average highs that are still in the upper 80s. So again, that's still signaling maybe some 90-degree temperatures are still in the forecast as we head through the middle parts of August, which again is not all that unsurprising. And then kind of mixed signals when it comes to the moisture. Looks like areas just off to our east, to our north, upper Midwest, Great Lakes are favoring above average precip, below average precip as you kind of head across the southern Rockies over into parts of Colorado, Utah, and Nevada as well. So we'll keep an eye on that. So a couple things to keep an eye on. Again, I think number one, there will be that chance for some showers and thunderstorms tomorrow morning. Otherwise, again, just kind of gradually getting hotter, gradually getting a little bit more humid as we head through the upcoming work week. So as always, make sure you keep it tuned to 1011, both on air and online, for all of the latest. Again, make sure you have that 1011 Now weather app downloaded on your phone. Make sure you got the 1011 app downloaded on your smart devices, your Roku, your Fire TV, your Apple TV, stuff like that. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching. Hope everyone has enjoyed the cooler temperatures. Hope everyone's had a nice Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. Hope everyone has a nice Sunday night. Until next time, we'll see you later.